Hi, and welcome to the Infinite Light channel. This is Gabbie. Today's message is speaking a bit about fear and how to become aware and how to move out of different emotional states of fear. And I think this message is so relevant because we are at the time right now where there is so much going on. And I know from speaking to friends that there are a lot of worries and concerns coming up from what is going on. And I know from my personal experience, I've had periods in my life where I felt really kind of stuck in these emotional states of worry, anxiety, fear. And when you are there, it feels so incredibly real. It is so strong. And the reason why it is so strong is because it's linked to a survival mechanism. So when our body is in a state of fear, of fight, flight, freeze, it will trigger these kind of panicky thoughts because the body will send signals to the mind saying that you are in danger. You need to find a solution to this now. Find a solution because you need to get us out of this danger. And of course, this was perfect when we were living out on the savannah, in the desert, being chased by lions and being threatened to starve to death. So it is a mechanism that has worked very well and that is really important. It's just that in today's world, it's different. And we don't often need to run from a lion, but we are faced with so much information and messages of fear that can put us in these emotional states, and letting those what the body is feeling is then triggering these panicky thoughts of having to solve this problem, and the body is kind of telling you to try to run from it, and we cannot run, and then it wants to hide and we cannot hide, and that sometimes leads to these states of kind of action freeze, like we get frozen, or we start to procrastinate, or whatever happens as a response to this. But there is really a way out, and becoming aware and starting observing this is really the first step. And then when we can learn how to manage our own emotional states, and also how to help our bodies to come back out of that fear state through using different tools. And for me, I know that it has been so powerful at times to really just go out for a walk or put on some nice music and dance, which can feel so wrong, because when you are in a state of anxiety, and your mind is running crazy, and all you can think about is how to get out of the situation, but probably there is no clear answer. Otherwise, you would have already gotten yourself out of it. So it's just running round and round. And then to just break that and do something different. And for me, that has worked incredibly well. Just putting on music, dancing, letting the body move. And then after a few minutes or 5 minutes, you just feel different. And perhaps you are able to bring yourself into a more neutral state. And suddenly things feel more calm. And your mind gets more calm and more clear. And then suddenly the ideas come to you, or the thoughts that are no longer a thought of reaction, but more a thought of responding. And you can kind of lead yourself towards the next best action, instead of taking action from a fear-based state, which often leads to very reactional actions that some of them maybe you might even regret afterwards. So I really hope that today's message can bring you some clarity, some empowerment, and of course, feel for the energy that the team is bringing through. As always, just um, feeling to what feels true to you, what resonates with you, with your heart, with your soul. And I wish you all the best. Handing over to the team. Yes, dear souls, welcome, welcome, welcome to today's message, today's transmission. We want you to know that fear is not real. Fear is not real, even though it can feel so real, it can look so real, but fear is not real. Fear is something that is fabricated in the ego mind, in the analytical mind. It is a response to keep us safe, to keep you safe. But it's not the truth. It is not the truth. So how can you learn to manage the feelings of fear when they come up? And the feelings of fear can take different shapes and forms. It can take the shape of worry or anxiety or this nagging feeling inside the body. You feel like you want to run, but you cannot run from the feeling, or you feel like you want to hide. You just want to hide, to disappear, to go back under the cover in your bed and not come up again. Or it makes you angry because it's bothering you and it makes you feel angry and frustrated. Those are all the different responses to fear. And fear is something that comes up as an emotion that gets triggered when the body ends up in a state of fight or flight. So feeling unsafe in some way. And we know that there is so much going on at this moment in time. There is so many things happening in your world, around you, on the news, on television, on social media. There are so many things. You are bombarded with things that can trigger fear. And we want to urge you not to surrender into that fear state, because it will only cause you harm. You can choose how you respond. You can choose to stop feeding yourself with those messages of fear. You can decide that you create your life's experience. And from a place of empowerment, when you let go of fear and you can move out of fear, you will also take actions that are coming from a much better place. And it's a very different thing to take action from a place of neutrality or a place of positivity or hopefulness than to take action from a state of worry, doubts, anxiety, fear, hopelessness, frustration. So how can you do this? How can you do this? How can you help yourself? When you find yourself in such an emotional state, what can you do? The key is to connect to your inner truth and your inner guidance, to your heart, because in your heart, in your soul, there are no feelings of fear. When you connect to the truth of you, you are in a different place. You are in a state of love. If you see it as a sliding scale. And on one hand, you have fear, and the other one, you have love. You are in this more loving state of being. That is also what we refer to as heart-based consciousness. So living from the heart, not living from the mind, that creates these fear states. And the first thing you can do is to be aware of this, to acknowledge this, to understand how it works, because that is how you are designed. So there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. This is how you were designed biologically, physically. So you have a body, you have a soul, and you have a mind. And your role, your assignment here on earth, if you are on this earth with a mission or the plan to awaken to your truth, to your inner strength, to your inner power, the first step is to become aware of these different aspects and how you can start managing them in a way that really helps you to expand your life and to live more fully and more wholly. So becoming aware of this, seeing this, and being able to take a step back. And taking that step back is taking that step back into your soul, into your heart, into the seat of your inner being, where you can become the observer. We can bring you this metaphor that we know that Gabbie loves, this metaphor, and she has been using it herself many times. So imagining that you are sitting in this theater. So you are sitting in the audience at this beautiful theater. And on the stage, there is a play. And this play is called Your Life. And you are sitting in the audience as your awareness, your consciousness, your soul, watching the play. And when things get really a bit crazy, or that mind goes really crazy, it can be time to bring out the popcorn, because now it's getting really juicy on that stage. Now there is a big drama. There is a big drama, yes, playing out on that stage. So it may be time to bring out those popcorn to enjoy that fun scene, because as the spectator, you can realize that this is only a scene. It's only something playing out. And when you can start to realize that you are that actor, but you are also the spectator, you're also the one who is watching. You are also the one who's actually directing this play. And when you can start to realize that more fully, by reminding yourself, but also by taking that step back, becoming the observer, instead of letting your mind go crazy and get drawn down into that rabbit hole, because it becomes this rabbit hole when the mind grabs hold of you, when your analytical ego mind grabs hold of these thoughts of fear, and it sends these thoughts into the body. It's all connected. And then you put your body in a state of fight, flight, and freeze, which will create emotions of anxiety. And from that place, you will get in a state of reactivity. So you will start to react to things instead of being able to observe and take a very balanced view on how you want to respond. And when you start to manage and to master that way of living life. And that is done in the present moment by returning back to the present moment, by returning back to your seat in that theater, watching the play, not getting totally pulled into the play. That is how you start to be able to also redirect your movie, your play, your drama, and perhaps to create less drama. And we are certain that some of you are receiving this message saying, that's easy for you to say. That is easy for you to say. You don't know my situation. You don't know what has happened to me. You don't know how that person treated me or whatever happened. And yes, we know and we understand that there are all these things happening. There are. And they will not stop happening because that is how life happens. So a lot of things will happen. But when you change the perspective and you realize that they don't happen to you, they happen for you, and eventually they even happen through you because you start directing your life. So you are so focused on your intentions, on your thoughts, on how you direct your awareness, your consciousness, your energy. And that is how you start to create a life where you can move out of these states very rapidly, very easily, with much less effort. That is not to say that you should overrun emotions that come up or things that happen that brings you sadness or anger or whatever negative emotions come up. No, it's not about any toxic positivity or just burying your emotions. No, that is not what we're saying. We're saying that it is important to acknowledge your emotions, and it's important to let you feel and let them run through you, let the energy flow freely through you. But when you feel like you are getting stuck in states of emotion that don't really belong to you, it's not really who you are, but you keep iterating this because your body gets in this fear state and that triggers these thoughts and emotions, and then you are kind of stuck in this loop. And this is what we really want to help you to shed some light on, how you can come out of these loops, out of these negative states, and where you can turn around and move into a much more positive direction. And we really want to bring you the encouragement that although this might at times feel overwhelming, especially if you are in that place, as much as it can feel overwhelming, then the next day or when you are able to switch that emotional place, state of being, then suddenly you can feel this incredible empowerment, these feelings of empowerment, knowing that in every moment you have the chance to decide. In every moment you can move towards the state of being that is preferred. And that is how you then can create your life very consciously, very, very consciously, by being so much more present, so much more observant, being that observer of your own life's play. And when you start practicing this on a daily basis, things will happen, things will shift. We promise you, it is impossible. Once you start becoming more aware, you cannot unsee what you have already seen or you have already felt or realized. So when you start to up level your state of awareness, your state of consciousness, there is no going backwards. Sometimes it may feel like you're going backwards because things happen and you get stuck in these loops, but oftentimes if you have been elevating, it's just a little detour, maybe to make you aware of something more. And then when you can learn from that and you can see that, then and you move up to the next stage, then you're probably leveling up even higher. But it's never a straight line. It doesn't go like a straight line from A to Z. It will be a bit of a roller coaster, because that is also part of the experience of life on Earth. It is not a linear game. However, your human minds love to think that it is a linear game, that you can figure everything out. But we also know that if you are here and if you are resonating with this message, you want so much more. You want to experience more. You want to raise your consciousness and vibration so that you can live life more to the fullest. And if that is your intention, then you are keen to take this journey and to learn on the way. Every step is important. Every learning is important when you start seeing it as such, seeing it as a learning, as something that makes you stronger, that makes you more resilient, and that makes you more aware. And the more you walk on this path of enlightenment, or this path of awakening, remembrance, whatever words you want to put to it, the easier things get. The easier things get. And that is such a beautiful thing. And that is what we want to help you with. That is what we want to support you with. We want to support you in the remembering on how you can live your life, releasing those states of fear, the fear that is being triggered from the outside world, of your perception of the outside world. And when you realize that you have so much more power, that you have the power inside of you to live your life and to decide on your path, that is truly, truly, truly empowering. And that is the truth of who you are. That is the truth of the power that you have inside of you. So don't let the outside get to you. Become the powerful version of you on the inside, and then see how your reality starts to reflect that on the outside. And if you find yourself in such trap of fear, because it happens to everyone, And there is absolutely no blame in this. Absolutely not. There is only love here for you. There is only love here. Find the tools that work for you, and any tool that works is a good tool. So what is your tool that you can use to pivot out of such an emotional state? Can you put on music? Can you dance? Can you do yoga? Can you go for a walk? Can you go to the gym and work out, or go for a run, or sit down to meditate, or go out and smell the flowers, or look at the trees, or sit down on the grass and feel the earth beneath you, the earth holding you? Whatever it is for you is perfect. Whatever it is for you. It's all just tools, and they all want the same thing: bringing you back to you, bringing you back to harmony and balance, bringing you back into your heart, and helping you to let go of fears. And there are other tools that can be very efficient also, like energy work or breath work, or anything that gets your energy moving, that helps you to shed emotions that don't really belong to you anymore, but that have been collected in the body. And it's a great thing when you're able to release them, and you will feel the lightness. You will feel, as you release those emotions, you're able to fill up with more positive energy, more love, more joy, more creativity, more fun. That is what we want for you. That is what we want for you. We are so grateful for being able to bring these messages through to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this co-creation, because it is a co-creation. And remember, we are all here together. We are you, you are us. It's all energy, and you all have the connection to your own inner guidance, to your own higher mind. Anytime, anytime, anytime. We love you so much. We love you so much. Thank you. Hi, I'm back. I'm back, and as always, there is quite a lot of energy coming through, so I don't have so many words right now. I hope that this message resonated with you, and I love if you enjoy this. Please subscribe, share, comment. I love to get your reflections and feedback and comments. That is amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.